Alright, so very recently, Andrew Tate had an interview with a Romanian interviewer, which was broadcasted live on Romanian news. And honestly, this was very eye-opening, and a lot of good questions were asked and answered. So yeah, guys, leave a like on the video and subscribe with notifications so you don't miss the latest updates.
Andrew Tate, thank you for being with me today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're very brave to come into the house of this big, scary criminal. You're very brave.
Why do you think so?
Well, I don't think I'm a big, scary criminal. I was being a little bit sarcastic, but...
But it's the most debated case in Romania and maybe in this part of Europe.
I think in life, if you shine bright, you cast a shadow. And I don't think that it would be an intelligent outlook to think that you can become one of the most known, Googled people on the planet without there being some degree of opposing force, which is going to try and damage your influence. So I think it's simply side effect of my monumental success. It's not because I've done anything wrong. It's just what happens if you shine too brightly.
You've said this is a fabricated case. By whom?
Yes, and I have to be careful because I'm inside of Romania, and I want to make it clear to the world that I don't blame Romania for this. This is not Romania's fault. However, when you reach a certain level of influence, there are people who are extremely interested in trying to get you in trouble for something, regardless of whether the fact you've actually done anything wrong or not. And there are some extremely motivated individuals who are trying to damage my life, not because I'm a bad person, not because I'm guilty of anything, but purely because of my influence. So,
Romanians?
Well, it's a Romanian judicial system now, which I'm putting my faith in. I have faith in the judges to do the right thing. I think that when you reach a certain height, anywhere in the world, certain things can happen. I think you just become... And it's not only me, I'm not the only person in the world who's ever gone through this. And it can work from the legal side and the criminal side of the world. I'm not the only person who's suffered from this. I have faith in the Romanian judicial system. I have faith in the judges to understand what's really happened. I know what I've done and what I haven't done. God knows what I've done and what I haven't done. So I don't really think of it as enemies. I don't think these people are my enemies. I think you just become a large target at a certain level of influence, and that's the way the world works. And that's going to come with absolutely zero downside. I think that the education system is teaching children things they shouldn't know. I think that the Western world is suffering massively. And what I loved about Romania when I came here 7 years ago is that it's quite traditionally conservative-minded. We'll see as things happen over time. But I loved Romania. I think it's a beautiful country. It's got beautiful nature. It's safe. It's a very safe place. I feel safe here. And I have nothing bad to say about it. The people have always been very friendly to me, very nice to me. I've never had any problems from Romania or with Romania ever. So I came here to visit and I just loved it. And I love the old-fashioned ideology of people. I think people are on the borderline of insanity.
I've seen some statements made by you during time regarding Romania. Have you thought back then when deciding to come to Romania that is maybe easier to rule here the world?
And it's been cut down to something small. It's normal, yeah. And I talked about at length how I believe America is the most corrupt country in the world. And I believe that they start all the world's wars. And I believe that they're genuinely destructive. And anybody who understands what's happening right now in Ukraine understands how involved America is, or understands what's happening in Nigeria, understands how involved America is. And if you actually understand history and you analyze the world, you'll see every single conflict anywhere on the planet where anybody has ever died, ever, America's been involved. So I was talking about this at length, and somebody said to me, but you say America's corrupt. Yeah, well, maybe Romania's corrupt for small things, but we're not starting wars all around the world. But then they cut that piece and say, yeah, he said Romania's corrupt, and they try and show the judge and try and keep me in jail with it. And it's very disingenuous. And that's the thing about the whole legal process, is that when people are trying to put you in jail, they have no interest in playing fair. They're very disingenuous, and they try very hard to convince the populace and convince the world and convince the judge that you're a bad person by taking very small clips of things you've said and editing them all together and putting this big file together. It was my money gorilla on repeat over and over again. And here we are 6 or 7 months later. There are no videos of victims, no evidence of anything, no girls coming forward saying we've hurt them, zero. Well, I'd like to believe that, and I'd like for people at home to believe that.
The image that was created around you?
99% of people believe I'm innocent. I think everybody thinking believes I'm innocent.
Outrageous of
Yep.
human trafficking,
Yep.
of creating an organized crime.
And I'm not mad at the media in any regard. I'm saying that at the beginning of the sensationalism, it's normal for people to see all this on the news and say, wow, maybe he's done something. But as time goes on and as there's no proof and as nothing comes out, people start to learn and realize that, okay, this was media frenzy, as there should be, because it's an interesting case, right? But I think most people know that we're completely innocent now, and I have faith in the judicial system to throw this away eventually. Whereas in London, I would have genuine concerns for my safety. But the reason for that is because the British justice system truly believes in innocent until proven guilty, so you're judged in absolute freedom. My brother and I spent 92 days in jail, 6 months on house arrest, all of our money taken, all of our things frozen, all of our cars gone. To say innocent until proven guilty, well, we've already been very severely punished. And we're continuing to be severely punished. And at the end, by the time we're proven innocent, so it's different. But, and this is the thing where you have to be an extremely logical person, right? Do you want to fear the law or fear the criminals?
We were discussing about the accusations.
Yeah.
I have to look into your eyes and ask you.
And that's the thing that I think is pretty pertinently clear to the people at home. The rape was actually thrown out very early. It was thrown out because there's no evidence at all of it. And another thing I've actually realized through this whole process, I don't know of many Romanians, but in America, England, and these countries, rich, successful men being falsely accused of rape happens every day. I don't think in Romania, when a rich, successful man is accused of rape, do people realize that they're like, oh, this is unusual. But in England, this happens hundreds of times a week. It's an unfortunate side effect of being a wealthy, successful man. During the last World Cup, had 5 accusations of rape. I don't think it's only about money, but when you're a very successful man and you're financially successful, and a woman can't get the money from you she wants. If I wasn't a successful person, none of this would have happened. And then all of a sudden, she was raped. Now, there was a very famous footballer in England who recently just got released non-guilty. So that's the first thing that makes no sense at all. Well, I think for human trafficking, you have to transport somebody. These are people who are Romanian, born in Romania, and are still in Romania. I gave advice on how to become famous on social media because I'm famous on social media. And what happened was they attacked me. They tried very hard to find something real. So they are forced to charge me with what they have. And what they have is that I've helped 2 of my friends get famous on TikTok. And those 2 girls are saying we're not victims.
I will stop you for a second just to tell me how was in the prison.
I have to be fair to Romania, and I have to be fair that the guards were very professional. And I also think the guards were actually quite apologetic to me. The whole system, every police officer I interacted with, everybody had a degree of sorry. Our jobs, and I was like, I know, and I respect you, and you're just doing your job. But everybody understood I didn't belong there. Nobody from the beginning believed I was guilty. We're pretty resilient individuals, and I believe God is the best of plans. And if he decides I need more, then I guess there's not much I can do about it. I do think you learn a lot about yourself and a lot about other people, certainly. But there's not things you don't already know. It just confirms some things that you knew and you needed to be reminded of. Maybe a little bit of jail is good for a man. And for a while, I had a pretty good life.
And from that
to jail.
To handcuffs first.
And that's...
Did that scare you in that very moment?
And it's very difficult for me to sit on the internet and say that I am top G and talk all these things about mental resilience and talk about men's mental health and helping men and talk about how strong my mind is and God not test me. God said, okay, you've told the world how strong your mind is. The scariest thing about going to jail is you don't know how long you're there. I think my experience is more scary than the typical Romanians because I'm going to a jail in a country where I don't speak the language. And then each 30 days I keep getting sent back. I didn't understand how and why that was happening. It's just part of life, unfortunately, and you have to go through it. So they've taken 15 million euro and they said I made that criminally, but they have not shown where 1 lei was made criminally. So I believe I should get all my things back. I don't understand how they can remain seized. Yeah, I'm financially successful. I don't think it makes you
I
evil.
didn't say that, but
yeah.
I was just curious about how much money do you have?
I don't. And like I said, when you shine bright, you cast a shadow. And I was very aware for a very long time that I am very open about my wealth and very open about my lifestyle. That comes with some benefits, but that also comes with some detriment. And when I do that, when I'm open and loud with my lifestyle, I'm not doing it to try and upset anybody.
A lot of persons are saying that it is bad, that you're a bad influence.
So why do I expect 100% of people to like me?
But it's actually impossible for all of them to become you.
So I think I have a huge platform and I'm very beneficial. I have huge ability to benefit the world. And I think I can do a massively positive thing. And I think that I inspire the world. And yeah, I could have been a lot more quiet.
Is your mom worried about your situation now?
I think maybe some people misunderstood this. We're from homeless shelters and we're from the worst area of Luton. So she's worried, but she knows that we're capable. Oh, of course not, because she knows it's a lie. And that's another thing that's interesting. Like I can't keep my pulse on the Romanian populace like I can in the English-speaking world. But the second it came out, everyone in America was like, another one, another lie, another liar. So this is just it's an attempt to slander my name. Told them, and there's a certain degree of the population who's going to sit there and go, wait. And in the Western world, we're obsessed with equality to a feverish degree. You must accept this false god of equality. Now, we can be equal with different roles. That they want us to pretend that I can do everything a woman can do, and a woman can do everything a man can do. And that's one of the reasons they want me to be quiet. But they've gone so far as they're pretending that men are women and women are men now. This is what's happening for real in America. And when you confuse everybody, it's very easy to inject the new programming.